Meanwhile, in Jason's head, his battle with Lord Rear... Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another comically long review. We have reached what I believe is the last milestone in my quest to get caught up on the two mainline comic series. I wrote this review right after picking up this issue. Time to find out how the Rangers deal with the world's angriest bunny and a blue ghost with no sense of personal space when I take a look at Go-Go Power Rangers issue 23. This is the main cover, and honestly for a second I thought it wasn't, and the fact that it is even more concerning. We see a scene from Shattered Grid number 1, Lord Draken Evo 3 fighting Jason, while those doubt ghost animals rage in the background. Social media cover features Trini, who is participating in the Plate-A-Day photo challenge. Kim had to snap a quick photo before Trini scarfed this chili dog down. Zach says he could eat like 100 of those, and Bulk challenges him to an eating contest. Trini also graces the yearbook cover, saying, "When in doubt, save the planet." Interesting double meaning there between her environmentalism and being a superhero. And the album cover is Weezer's self-titled album, aka the Blue Album. I've said before that I use a website with scans of the comics to add images to my videos. And while I still don't feel comfortable directly naming the site, since that can take away from the sales of the comics, I will give them props for having this issue up the day it came out. We open on a shot of Mystic Force Red's helmet, cracked and dirty on the ground. Then the Zeo Gold Ranger leaps into a group of red sentries, zapping one. Yes, we're flashing back to the final battle on the moon from Shattered Grid. Gia from Super Mega Force blasts some yellow sentries, dropping her show's tagline. The RPM Rangers take on some black sentries. We get more involvement by the Beast Morphers Rangers as Draken chokes Ravi, Zoe takes a shot at him, and he just throws Ravi at her. Oh, and Blaze is laying defeated down in the corner. That raises a lot of interesting questions. Devin leaps at Draken. "You know, red looks best when it's on my sword." Ouch. Draken berates the Rangers, asking if there's anyone who can even make him sweat. Jason then walks up, saying he'll take a crack at it. Draken is pretty sure that he's killed Jason already, which he did, but we'll get to that. Jason morphs, and Draken says he did it before, and he can do it again, and he can do... The two leap at each other. And for a comic book, this is a slam cut as we just head back to Jason laying on the floor at his house. The Blue Emissary explains that he's basically forcing Jason's mind to remember everything that happened. He apologizes and hopes that one day Jason will forgive him. Back in Angel Grove, which we technically never left, the Rangers are still fighting Warbunny. Zach asks if they're going to kill it, and Trini says no, just distract it and try to minimize the damage from things like flung cars. Warbunny says he sat in that cage day after day, waiting for the right moment to destroy them. He pulls out a growth grenade, so Lord Zed knows where they come from in this continuity, and slams it down, becoming an even bigger bunny warrior. The Rangers respond by calling their Thunderzords. Billy tells the Rangers to direct the Lagomorph west. Yeah, Lagomorph means bunny rabbit, and Trini explains that the west part of the city is still wrecked from last time, so, you know, less of it to actually break. Zach has an interesting line as his Zord gets smacked by Warbunny, saying he's leading, but needs some help. I know he is basically number 2 on the leadership ladder, just interesting to see him say that. Kim flies in, zapping the bunny, who smacks her away. Meanwhile, in Jason's head, his battle rages on with Lord Draken. Draken teases him, saying they've done this already, and Jason can't kill a ghost. Jason tries anyway, slashing Draken, who falls with a shattered visor. Something happens to his head. I can't tell if he's been impaled on a rock spike, or if something is escaping or being drained from his suit, probably the latter. A voice behind him says he was only the first. He turns around and is terrified by what he sees. He wakes up from the vision, the emissary still apologizing, saying Jason had to see that. Jason finally hears Alpha's call and gets filled in on the Warbunny situation. He calls for an immediate teleport. The emissary says time is running out, but Jason says his friends need him now. The Rangers aren't getting anywhere with Warbunny, Zack lamenting that they don't have a giant turtle around to teach it a lesson. Haha, the tortoise and the hare. But seriously, Zack, what do you need that for? Warbunny smacks the Zords around and then starts advancing on the Volunteer Center, but then a red beam zaps him. Yes, it's Jason in the Red Dragon Thunder Zord. Billy asks if he has any ideas, and he starts to suggest going into assault mode, but Trini cuts in with another idea. If Warbunny thinks he's such a warrior, they should make him prove it. As Warbunny swats at the Firebird, Trini gets out of her Griffin Thunderzord and says Warbunny isn't a monster. He's not fooling anyone. Deep down, he's just a cute little bunny. Still Mr. Lopsy. This enrages him, and he leaps at her with his hammer. And that's just what they wanted. Jason's Zord leaps in, doing its staff-spinning finishing move, flinging Warbunny away. And I brought this up when it came up in Mighty Morphin, but just to clue you folks into it here, this tactic of drawing the monster in close and then Jason smacking it is exactly what Jason was referring to in the Omega Rangers fight with Garrison Vox. Again, just very neat to have that ability to refer to things in the past that are actually happening in our future. They leave the Zords and go looking for the bunny, who, besides a slightly singed ear, is just fine. Zack and Trini return Mr. Lopsy to the Volunteer Center. Zack says his idea of nighttime vigilantism isn't really an option, so he's thinking of taking a page from her book, or as he puts it, drinking from her chicken soup, and volunteering there once a week, maybe even on a Saturday morning. But Trini tells Zack she's already quit. Why quit volunteering at her happy place? Because Zed targeted it because she was there, and that's not something she can accept. The whole team has a meeting about this at the command center. Zack asks if they should just accept Zed's tactics of targeting the things they care about, but Billy and Kim say those things are in danger no matter what, and they just need to be ready to respond. Speaking of responding, Trini asks Jason why he took so long to get to the fight. Billy asks if his communicator is acting up, and he takes the excuse, saying he just didn't hear it. He promises never to make that mistake again. That night, Kim has taken Matt up on his offer to talk, the two having coffee at a playground. She tells him she feels like the team is buckling under the stress, and that she goes to bed every night dreading 6 hours of nightmares. Matt asks how the others are holding up. Jason is focused on his family issues, Billy's intelligence keeps him rather pragmatic, and Zack always just blows things off. Matt points out that he's known Zack for a long time and says if she really needs to get through to him, just talk to him one-on-one. He will listen even if it doesn't seem like he is. She thanks him for the advice and sarcastically berates herself for unloading so much on him. He says he doesn't mind, as the Sentinel statue, and by the way, I pulled that name from memory, just in case you were doubting my Ranger nerd credentials, looks on in approval. He literally tells her to hold his coffee, as this close personal talk about Ranger stuff has inspired him to backflip off of the jungle gym. Of course, he lands on his freaking shoulder. Kim teases him and gracefully dismounts, dropping a very interesting line. I wonder sometimes how different our lives would be if you had chosen to be a ranger. Anyway, the conversation ends with the two of them staring wistfully at each other, and maybe things aren't quite so done between them? Jason has gone back to the punching bag, interestingly. He tells the Blue Emissary, who I guess just waited there for him to return, that he remembers everything now. Tommy's death, Lauren and Jen, and all the other Rangers they met. He also remembers his own death, being crushed inside the Q-Rex. Which means he never actually fought Lord Draken face-to-face on the moon, so what was that? The emissary says that basically throwing all of that at his mind at once led to what was a very fighting spirit-like battle for Jason's sanity. The emissary's still on a schedule and starts to say that if Jason won't help him, and Jason says no, he is going to help him, but he won't abandon his team to do so. So they're going to have to create a brand new team to face what's coming. The emissary realizes that Jason has perhaps seen a glimpse of the future. Jason says, as we see the flashback again, that he heard the voice behind him and turned around. He sees three shadowy figures, but we already know who two of these folks are. On the left is very obviously Garrison Vox. In the middle is Dane, the Syrian. The smaller alien on the right we don't know, but he does sort of fit the shape and appearance of a Kedri, perhaps the empowered that Queen Adriel is using. Anyway, Jason calls them threats beyond Zed and Rita, threats to everything, and says they have to stop them. Wowity wow wow wow! I know this video is far shorter than my comic videos usually are, a trend that I'm hoping to continue in the future, but this still has a lot for us to unpack. If we did have to see Lord Draken again, I am happy that in this case at least, it was just a figment of Jason's imagination, a cross between history and imagination, something imaginary, something visionary, not the actual Lord Draken. It was kind of cool seeing some new Shattered Grid action, especially featuring the Beast Morphers Rangers. And Blaze being there, seriously, I think that could hint at some stuff coming in the TV show. That idea Hasbro has said about cross-pollination. The fight with Warbunny provided the real action of the issue, which was nice and satisfying and exciting. Trainee's tricking the monster was very clever, and then her quitting her volunteer work over Zed's threats really felt emotional, and you understood where she was coming from over that. The comics have gone far more in depth on how the battles are affecting the Rangers psychologically, and I am here for it. The stories of these two series begin to merge, with this Jason seeing hints to Garrison Vox, Dane, and whoever else that was. We're accelerating not just towards the merging of the two stories in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but those two stories and the story of Go-Go Power Rangers as well. Issue 23 of Go-Go Power Rangers gets a 5 out of 5. Next time, a comically long review returns to its every other week schedule. Will the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fight with Dane be as unfair as he said it was going to be? Will Rocky, Adam, and Aisha be given anything to do? And how will the Omega Rangers deal with Queen Adriel and her Empowered? We may just find out in 2 weeks when I review Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 43. That's going to do it for another comically long review. Heroes, thank you so much as always for watching. Make sure to like the video by clicking that thumbs up button right down below. And while you're down there, leave me a comment about what you thought about this issue and of my review of it. How do you feel about the ongoing presence of Lord Draken in the comics, even as a vision? Are you excited about that character? Do you feel like he's really good and really exciting for the story? Or, like some people feel about Tommy Oliver in general, is Lord Draken starting to get just a little bit overexposed? Let me know down in those comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos and ring that bell. Get your notifications set up so you are notified whenever I post brand new videos like these comically long reviews. And if you'd like to lend any financial support to my channel, you can head over to ko-fi.com/orangerangervideos and buy me a coffee. Those are so tasty. They are $3, and I greatly appreciate any financial support I find at that site. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. If you go searching... I've said before that I use a website with scans of the comic to add to my... Gosh dang it. A voice behind him says he wasn't the only one, and he starts to suggest this tactic that they...